I have to turn this a little bit so I can see it. All right, well, today it's Saturday, October 25th, and it's World Fussy Cutting Day, and we're celebrating here at Memory Bound. I'm Kelly, and we also have Janet here, and I'm pretty sure they can hear you, Janet, also.
Good morning, everybody.
We're
Let us
down in the
know.
little corner, so look down in your corners and you'll see Kelly and Janet, and I am so excited to be here, and I'm really excited that we have Janet here this morning from Texas. I'm in Iowa at the Memory Bound Papercraft store, and Janet is with us in Texas. And she's got, I don't know, Janet, you've been fussy cutting for many years.
I have, Kelly. I was thinking about that this morning. How long have I been fussy cutting? And well, for sure, as long as the store has been open. So what does that make it? 24 years plus some.
Yes, we're on year 25 now. We've kicked off year 25.
And
So
before that, I've always enjoyed fussy cutting. So I mean, I go way back with fussy cutting. So this is just something that I just do and have always enjoyed. So I was thrilled when Kelly asked me to help out with today's celebration.
well, and this celebration, I'm going to go ahead and Janet, let's see what we can do here with our screens. This
Okay.
is something new for us that we haven't done for a while, and it looks like I don't have the options to bring us both on. It looks like we did yesterday. We did some testing and it worked just fine. So we got Janet on
Oh,
here, but that's okay. We thought we could do both of us at the same time, and it's not really. I don't see the option, Janet. Do you?
I do see the options.
Oh, there it is. There it
There
is.
you
Oh my
go.
God, there's three of us here now. Okay, well, let me do
Okay.
this.
Where's the two-person option, Kelly? Okay, there it is.
Uh,
Yeah, there you go.
all right, I'll be the little person. Oh, here we go. All right.
Oh, perfect.
So this is kind of new, being able to broadcast from two different places. It's kind of a new thing for us here at Memory Bound. So I'm really glad you're joining us. And I just want to say a little something about Fussy Cutting Day, and then I'm going to turn it all over to Janet. World Fussy Cutting Day is a social movement that was organized by a few independent store owners in honor of Sharon Klima. She owned a store called Buffalo Stamps, which is still open. Her family's running it, and she was just the sweetest gal. I knew her personally, and she passed away this year unexpectedly from a heart attack. And so World Fussy Cutting Day is about fussy cutting because it was one of her favorite things to do, but it's also about being aware of your heart health because most of us don't take as good of care of ourselves as we should. I can say that because it's probably true for me too.
It's
So
true for a lot of us.
yeah, I would say so, Janet, for sure. I feel like okay, if I look this way, am I look is this like the Brady Bunch? Am I like looking at your window? I
Am I
can't
looking
look
this way?
because my thing's over there. But so today, and we've had some things going on this week at Memory Bound. There is a World Fussy Cutting Facebook page, and I encourage you to get out there and join it because it's pretty cool. And something they provided are two of these fussy cutting sheets, and we have them available at Memory Bound. They're actually a free download, so you can print it at home. And Janet, you're using these today, right?
I am, Kelly. I'm
Oh,
super
good.
excited to show you what I can do with them.
So if you want a printed copy, we do have them for $1.59. They're printed on Basel cardstock with a laser printer, but $1 of it goes to the American Heart Association. And we've raised about $350 with our scissors special already for the World Heart or American Heart Association. I'm getting my world and my America kind of confused. So those are still available if you'd like them. And Janet is using them today, and she'll tell you more about them. And the other thing I want to mention, because Janet, I want to give you a big pat on the back for this.
Oh, thanks,
This is
Kelly.
the Cutting Edge Tips for Success. And I love it because she put on here from your crafty friends at Memory Bound. And Janet designed this and wrote this sheet with all kinds of fussy cutting tips. So that's available if you go to memorybound.com and go to shopping. We have a whole world fussy cutting category at the top of our page. And it's got all kinds of different things. And Janet, I didn't bring that special die. Nicole, would you mind grabbing me that special scissors die from Spellbinders in honor of Sharon. So we'll grab Nicole. You guys, Nicole's here early, and I'm so excited because we really needed her today. But there is a die set. Sorry, Janet, I'm like rambling on. I don't mean to, but I am. There
Kelly,
is
ramble on.
ramble on. Everyone wants to get fussy cutting, I know. There is a special die set that Spellbinders produced, and it's in honor of Sharon, who I mentioned earlier. And it's a really cute little pair of fussy cutting scissors, and they've got a little heart on them. And Nicole went to get them, but maybe she can't find them. So we might have to bring them out a little bit later to show all of you guys. But oh, here she is. Here she is. Okay, so all right. Oh, and Nicole's the best. So this is the cute little die that's a little pair of scissors. I'll flip it over. They're just a tiny little set. They're $11.99, and then they say, "You're always in my heart." And I think I don't know, I just think it's so amazing, all this stuff that's come out of one person's life. And
I love that.
Nicole brought a couple other dies that are actually scissors. This is the Crafty Babe from Spellbinders and Simple Stories. And then this is from Marianne Design. And this little blue piece is the die. It's just a really cute little solid pair of scissors. And that one's $9.29. So in honor of Sharon, in honor of fussy cutting, in honor of women's heart health, I'm going to turn it over to you, Janet. I'm going to pull myself out if I can.
Okay. Well, awesome, everybody.
Sorry. Okay, let's go back here, maybe. And nope, not there. How about here? Not there. How about here? Okay, I can't see it on my screen, but there you, Janet, you're going.
Okay. So let me just chat a second, and then I will switch to the down view, and we'll get started with fussy cutting. So again, thank you everybody for joining us today. I have to say, I've been just a little scared about all this technical stuff, but it has worked out really well. And not scared about the fussy cutting, but just scared that, I could remember how to turn everything on in the right place. So thanks to Kelly and Doug for helping me out with that. I guess it is possible for an old dog to learn new tricks.
Janet, we're not old dogs.
Oh, okay.
I'm older than you are.
Okay. But it's new technology certainly to all of us. So, and I think it's just the coolest thing that we can do this together. This is our inaugural, what do you say, Kelly? Inaugural voyage.
Yeah, until Tuesday. You'll be back on Tuesday
right,
with a new card kit.
Exactly. So this is a very special day. When I was talking to Kelly this week, I said, a fussy cutting holiday feels like a holiday just for me, because I absolutely love fussy cutting, and I find it really relaxing and kind of therapeutic. And I know not everybody is there yet with me, but if you practice fussy cutting, I think that it will become easier and more relaxing for you too. And I hope to share some tips today to help you along that journey. And I also want to say that this is very special to me because I did lose my mom to a heart attack several years ago. So heart health is always, paramount, foremost on my mind. And it's just something that's really important.
Go out and look.
To take care of ourselves and to take care of our heart, because heart symptoms in women don't show up in the same way that they show up in men. So that's my public service announcement.
Yeah, well,
for today.
and Janet, they've been sharing a lot of tips on the World Fussy Cutting Facebook page about women's heart health and things. So that is a good point.
Yes. Well, I'm going to, if everybody could bear with me, put myself in the down cam position, and we will get started.
Janet, we have a lot of people joining us while you're doing your camera thing.
Awesome,
it looks
Kelly.
like Monica's here, Dawn's here, Shelly's here, Julie. Lots of good mornings. So thanks for joining us.
Wonderful.
Hey, when I remember as a kid, Saturday mornings meant cartoons. like Johnny Quest and probably Scooby-Doo. I don't know what other cartoons there were, but we have so many people. Janet, we have a lot of people watching and a lot of people with messages. And
oh my gosh.
So welcome everybody. We're super excited to be here this morning.
Well, good morning.
Did that give you enough time, Janet?
Yeah, Kelly, that was really good filler.
Okay. I do what I
Okay,
can.
so I want everybody to tell us if that view is okay. It looks
It
pretty
looks
good
good
to
to me.
me. Okay,
Oh, we got some Johnny Quest
so
watchers.
you know what I used to watch, Kelly, was HR Puffin stuff. Do you remember
Oh,
that?
that's oh, I do, but yeah, I'm not going to sing the theme song, but believe
No.
me, it's about to burst out of my mouth. So I'm going to hold it in.
I feel like that was kind of a little known or a lesser known Saturday morning show.
Well, he's your friend when things get tough, right?
You're exactly right, Kelly. Maybe later we'll sing. Let's get started with our fussy cutting. So everybody, Kelly mentioned earlier the fussy cutting tip sheet that I put together, and these are just suggestions that I have kind of come up with over the many years I've been fussy cutting. And I will be not reading through this with you, but we're going to be talking about some of these as we go. Some of the most important things that you need to know to be successful with fussy cutting. Probably the most important thing is a good pair of scissors. And I brought along my trusty Cutter Bee scissors, which I have had since the store opened, Kelly. I think it's one of the first things that I purchased at Memory Bound. And these scissors are old, but they have never failed me, and they're still just as sharp as they were. So the
And
first thing that,
and Janet, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I
oh
just want to
yes,
make a note here. Those exact scissors have been on back order from our supplier, but the scissors we had on special this week are basically the same scissors. And those we sold out of, and we will have more coming probably in about a week. So if you love Janet's scissors, which we all do, they will be coming eventually, I guess.
thank you, Kelly. These are great scissors. The important thing is you need to find scissors that you are comfortable with. And what I'm comfortable with might be different than what you're comfortable with. So just find something that works well for you. You do need a smaller blade as compared to like a full-size scissor blade. You can see that these are quite a bit smaller. So you want something small that will allow you to do all the detail work that comes with fussy cutting. Now, these particular ones are super sharp. So like many of our fussy cutting scissors, they do come with a protective blade. The other thing that I would suggest with fussy cutting scissors or any scissors, make sure you keep them clean. Now, Kelly, I don't know if this is true for you, but somehow I always get sticky things on my blade.
Well, Janet, it does happen, and undo cleans your scissor blades very nicely. We have to be
Yes.
careful because they're sharp, but I use undo to clean my scissor blades.
And I do the same, Kelly, but I would definitely use like multiple paper towels or something because I have cut myself cleaning my blades, but do make sure that you start out with clean blades. That's really important. The other thing that you want to make sure you have is good lighting because you have to be able to see the little details of the piece that you're fussy cutting. So those are some of the most important things that you need to know to get started with fussy cutting, but otherwise it doesn't take any special equipment. So I was thinking that I would maybe ask the question, why would a person want to fussy cut in the first place? Because there are lots of great embellishments on the market, lots of ephemera, lots of stickers. Why do you even want to fussy cut? And my answer to that is you can create custom embellishments that you would not be able to find otherwise. And for example, these are two cards that I made recently and using the honeybee collection from Cartabella, which I picked up when I was at the store in August. And lo and behold, I came home to Texas without any ephemera. So I made my own through fussy cutting. I just took one of the pieces of paper from the collection and I fussy cut out some of the flowers to use on my cards as embellishments. And so this piece here was fussy cut, and this flower and these little buds were also fussy cut. So when push comes to shove and you're in a pinch and you don't have any ephemera, you can make your own just by fussy cutting it. So that's my first reason why you would want to learn how to fussy cut and incorporate it in your crafting. And the other thing that I will say is sometimes if you purchase ephemera, it will have a white edge around it. And I think some people don't mind the white edge, but some people are not too keen on the white edge. So with fussy cutting, you can actually remove the white edge. And let's just go ahead and do that and see how it changes the look of this flower. So we'll just see how this turns out. This is experimental, Kelly.
Well, I've never really thought about fussy cutting my ephemera. I think that's a great idea.
Well, you know, I was reminded of this the other day when Sarah did her demo when she was dressing up the Simple Stories Believe Christmas cards. And she cut away the border on a Christmas tree. And I thought, you know, that is just such a good reminder that you do not have to leave that border if you don't want it. So here I am turning the flower and keeping my scissors relatively stable as I work my way around this flower. And we're just going to see how this changes the look. So fussy cutting can be a very practical thing, for sure. So I think that really changes the look of the ephemera. And then what I would do is I would take my ink and I would go around the outside edges of this, and it's going to completely change how that flower looks compared to the one with the white edge. And I know, just because I've heard people say, oh golly, I don't really want the white edge, look at the difference between the two. So one without and one with the white edge. So anytime you have ephemera that has a white edge that you feel is maybe too harsh or too stark,
It's a good comparison, Janet.
Yeah,
Very good.
get out your fussy cutting scissors and take care of it. So thanks to Sarah for reminding me of that great idea. So let me clear off my space here. And let's get started with the first fussy cutting sheet. And Kelly showed you at the start that we have these two beautiful fussy cutting sheets available. The first one I want to work with is the brightly colored one. I don't think they have names on them.
Janet, we're calling that sheet number 1.
Okay.
And I think the intention was to have one that was maybe a little easier to fussy cut. And I've been trying to decide which one was the easier one. I'm not sure. They seem about the same to me, but we appreciate that these were designed for us to share.
They are beautiful. And I will tell you, having worked with both of them, I would say this first one is the easier. And the reason I'm saying that is it has a lot of pieces that have straight lines and more simple shapes. When you get to the second one and you see mine has got a few holes in it, there are more rounded shapes, and like the butterfly and the lace, those are, and the really skinny little paintbrushes, those are just a little more detailed. But that is a great reminder. One of my other tips is to always set yourself up for success. So if you are brand new to fussy cutting, tackle something that's going to be easier. And so start with like the camera, start with the tag or the notebook paper, the tag here, the envelope. Start with something that has straight lines, and that's going to be a whole lot easier, or a simple shape, than a fussy cutting flower like from a sheet of graphic 45, and kind of work your way up to the more complicated shapes. And I want to show you a couple of things that I cut from this, or a couple of cards that I made from this first fussy cutting sheet. And here on this first card, I used the little car and the camera and the little notebook paper and 2 of the hearts. And I just layered them along with a die cut circle. And then I just die cut Miss You to fit onto the notebook paper. So one of my tips is you can always add to your fussy cutting pieces with die cut shapes, such as the circle and the Miss You, which is die cut from some smaller Tim Holtz letters. And I know that this is one of my favorite die sets, and we've got it linked for today. This is the zigzag set, and I absolutely love these for creating backgrounds for my cards, and they work really nicely. We've also linked on the calendar for today some complementary color vibe that matches both of these sheets
Oh,
perfectly.
Janet, thank you for doing that. That's
Well, you're very
great.
welcome. I think it's really helpful to know when you start a sheet like this that you can die cut some of your own shapes to kind of bulk up the smaller pieces. So this is a super easy card to do. The other thing that I want to point out is when you're fussy cutting, you can choose to cut straight up to the border of the item, or you can leave a little white edge. So that's another choice that you need to make as you're fussy cutting, and we're going to talk about that throughout the morning. But you have to decide, do you want to leave an edge or do you want to cut straight up to the item? On this particular card, I cut straight up to the border on all of these pieces, but I did leave a little white border on the notebook paper. And that's because that little black border is so skinny. I wasn't sure that I was good enough to get a clean cut, but the other items have a little bit chunkier border. And so those were really easy to cut closely too. Now the other,
Janet,
yes.
Dawn has a tip here and she just said she likes to cut the pieces apart and then fussy cut each piece. I didn't want us to miss sharing that because I think that's a really good tip.
Yes, Dawn, and you can see I have done the same thing on my other sheet, and definitely that is one of my tips as well. That helps a lot because then you can more easily handle the item. So on this card, I fussy cut several of the smaller pieces and grouped them together to create a little cluster. The little flowers popping one up, the package, and then the little tag. And then because this is a smaller piece, I just added a die cut heart to kind of bulk up the background. And again, that's
Janet,
another one.
Janet,
Yes, Kelly.
can you show them a little more to the left when you're showing them? They're kind of going a little more to the right now.
This
To the
way?
left. No, to the left. There you go. It's kind of they're going off the screen a little bit on the
Oh,
right edge of the
okay.
screen.
Oh, I see that. Yes, I
So
see
that's
that.
perfect
Okay.
there.
Yeah. All right. Sorry about that, Kelly. Like I said, this is new to me for sure.
It's
So
great though. We love it.
it seems like it's working okay. So again, if you are working with smaller fussy cut pieces, it's helpful to have like a larger die cut heart, or like we did a circle in the previous card, just to kind of bulk up that background so it doesn't look like the pieces are just floating out there. So those are two things that I did with this fussy cutting sheet. So let's start fussy cutting some.
Ooh,
I
yay.
let's do it. What I like to do, if I have a fussy cutting sheet that I'm really enjoying, I just cut apart the pieces, and then as I fussy cut them, I just keep them in a box or an envelope. And this is the 4x6. It's called a photo storage box, I believe.
Yeah,
But
yep.
obviously, you can put a lot of things in it. So if you have a sheet that you're fussy cutting from and just want to like work on it in the evenings while you're watching TV, you can just store all your fussy cutting pieces in it. Or you can use one of the Avery L pockets as well. And this is, I want to say this is around 5x7. I think it's like the medium size pocket. And I use these for everything in my craft room. So for this card, I thought it would be fun to fussy cut a heart and a little tag and the scissors and some of the pencils and a flower. So let's get started. So like Dawn mentioned earlier, and I think this is a great tip, just cut roughly around the piece that you want to work with, and remove it from the bigger sheet. It's going to make things a lot easier. And when you're starting to fussy cut, you're always going to be cutting more toward the bottom part of your blade versus up to the very tip. I know we all love our micro tip scissors, but you don't often need that part of your scissor blade for fussy cutting. Usually you're going to be cutting toward the bottom. And so the important thing is to first of all decide if you want to cut closely to the item or if you want to leave a white border. And I think I'm going to cut closely to this particular item. And so notice I'm cutting really down deeply in the bottom of my blade. And I tend to keep my scissors in one place and I turn the item that I'm cutting. The other thing that is helpful is to try to make longer cuts versus resetting your blade, because every time you kind of move and reset your scissors, you might get like a little jagged edge. So try to make like really long, smooth cuts if you can. And I am right-handed, and notice that I'm always keeping the item that I'm cutting at my left. So it's always to the left of my blade. That's just my personal preference. I feel like I can see it better that way. So there you go. So that looks pretty good. And that's ready to use
Yay.
on our card. Yeah. And let's do the same thing with the With Love. And again, I'm leaving that black border, but I'm not leaving an extra white edge. And if you're just starting out, again, a nice straight edge like this is going to be easy for you to cut. So I always say, set yourself up for success. Choose something that is easy to start, kind of get your feet under you, and then you're going to be ready to go. So these short sides are easy to cut because you can get them all without having to reset your blade. So that piece is done. I've done a couple of the pencils, and on the pencils, I did leave a little white border. And so I thought I would show you kind of how I do that. So I try to leave a consistent white border all the way around. And this is going to take a little bit more control. So you might leave this until you've done a little bit of fussy cutting, but you want to just keep the same amount of white border as you go around. And see, I'm turning my pencil piece and keeping my blade stationary as I go. And again, I'm cutting always down at the kind of the base of my blades versus way out at the tips. And again, I want to go as long as I can without having to reset that blade. And I think that's it. So we got a little pencil. And now I have a flower. And this flower is going to be maybe a little more challenging because it has some ins and outs between the petals, but we're going to leave a little white border. So with something this small, you want to just take your time and go as far as you can without resetting your blade. You want to keep a long, continuous cut for a smooth look. And we're going to talk in another part of the demo about how to cover up the edges if you've got some imperfections. But for right now, we're just going to go with this. So again, I'm turning. Yes, Kelly.
Well, while you're cutting the little flower petals there, we have a new viewer. Someone just found us. Sorry, the name has already passed on the comments, but just wanted to say welcome. And we are not typically on Saturday mornings, but every Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. Central, you can find us right here on this Facebook and YouTube channel.
What do they say, Kelly? Same bat time, same bat
That's
channel.
what I want to say. I held myself back.
And I did not. I have no filter, Kelly.
Good.
So in terms of setting yourself up for success, I want to show you this. There's a really cute little pair of scissors on this sheet. And I thought at first, oh golly, maybe I can cut out that interior piece. And you know what? It is just too small. I did get it cut out, and but I'm not happy with the quality of my cutting. So I'm going to just cut around this one on the outsides, and you will see it's just fine. So when I say set yourself up for success, if there are pieces that have an interior opening, such as like a teacup handle or a coffee pot handle, or like the handle of these scissors, look at the size of it and determine, can I even get my blades in there? Or sometimes people like to use an X-Acto blade for things like this. But if you're not handy with an X-Acto blade, you need to be able to get your scissors in there and turn. And that just wasn't feasible for me. So we're just going to cut around the outside. So
I think, Janet, if you would happen to have something that has a round Obviously, the circles aren't, but like a perfectly round thing, you could use a paper punch if you had one the right size.
Oh, absolutely. And that is such a good suggestion, Kelly. I will give you just a sneak peek. There is another pair of scissors on the other sheet, and it's a little bit larger, and we're going to cut out the inside of the
Oh,
handle on
okay.
those.
Awesome.
So just play to your strengths, I always say. You know, do what's easiest for you, and that you are going to be happy with the results. I think that's when I say set yourself up for success. Choose something that feels comfortable to you and that you are going to be happy with how it turned out. So I am just going around these scissors. I'm leaving a little bit of a white edge. And there we go. We've got a little scissors, and I think it looks totally fine with the interior part
That's
because
so
it's got a
cute.
little shadow on there. Isn't it, darling? So I'm not going to take the time to glue this together, but I will do that after the demo today, and then I'll put this card on our blog. But this is kind of the idea that I had. It would be like this, and it would be a with love card that I could send to a crafty friend.
And that
So
color vibe, it looks to me like flamingo and maybe, let's see, is it teal or winter mint? Winter mint, probably.
I I can't
And
remember, Kelly.
we have them all listed. I'm going to link it again. The supplies that Janet's using, so you know what matches that fussy cutting sheet in case you downloaded it and you want to make some things with it. I'll link our calendar, which has all of Janet's product that she's using today.
Thanks for doing that, Kelly. So out of this sheet, we've got 3 cute cards. I think they're perfect to send to a crafty friend. So I'm going to set these aside and we're going to move on to our next sheet. And while I do that, let me ask if there are any questions. Any questions at
We should
all?
also ask, do you or do you not fussy cut? And if you do not, will you maybe, well, towards the end of the video, will you maybe fussy cut now that you've spent time the morning with Janet?
Well, I sure hope so.
Look
And
at
Kelly,
those. Oh my gosh.
oh golly, this is such a wonderful sheet, Kelly. Um, And you asked or mentioned at the beginning you weren't sure if one was harder than the other. I would say this one is a little more detailed, but it's not super hard. Now you can see there are scissors on this card. There are buttons, and I will say a perfectly round shape can be tricky to fussy cut. What you can do, and Kelly mentioned this earlier, is if you have a punch of the same size and you have something perfectly round, you can sometimes just punch around them and get the same effect. But know that you can fussy cut. I don't think my buttons are perfectly round, but I think they're okay. The scissors are very skinny, so they're a little bit more challenging. And I did fussy cut out the interior of the handle, which we're going to talk about in a second. But I just love this. I made this into a smaller card, and I kind of thought, well, I could send it to a crafty friend, or maybe I could just put it on an easel in my craft room. It's kind of an artsy, crafty kind of thing. And here's
It's
another
really
card.
neat.
Oh, thank you.
I like it a
Here's a
lot, Janet. It's amazing what you came up with using the craft paper, and I believe that's probably oatmeal color vibe that you used with it.
It sure is. And then this one has like a mauve color vibe. I don't remember which color that is. And I think this might be the
Probably
winter mint
mauve.
down here. Yeah,
Janet,
mauve. Right.
it's going off the screen a little bit on the right. There you go.
There. Yeah, I need to keep a closer eye on that. So this one has tags as well. So as Kelly mentioned before, sometimes you can punch a hole or use a hole punch to remove those interior pieces. So that's what I did on the tags as well. But again, the pieces are so pretty and they work together so easily. So let's take a look at another thing that I wanted to fussy cut with you today. Again, I've got my box of fussy cut elements because I have been fussy cutting a lot from this sheet. So I thought it would be fun to make a tag. So at the bottom of this tag, I used the fussy cut border, which is down here. I just cut around each of the hearts, leaving them all connected. And I ran them across the bottom of the tag, which I think is a really fun idea. And whoever designed these did a great job because they provided that for us, and they're all connected together. So to the top of the tag, I added a rectangle just to kind of break up the space and to give me a place to ground my elements. So I thought I would fussy cut the heart with the lace. And I've already started this, so I didn't have to do the whole thing with you. But let's just go around these curves. And I'm going to cut closely to the lace. And again, I'm just turning my item and keeping my scissors relatively stationary. So with something like this, with a lot of ins and outs, I would say this is a little more challenging than some of the other things we were just cutting, but still not hard.
Janet, do you remember your Hot Diggity Dog cards?
I
Which
do.
there is, well, Shelly said she completed that card kit and really liked it. And there is a little bit of fussy cutting in that kit.
There
And
is.
and we do have those available if anyone would like to check it out. It's a really cute dog themed card kit.
And yes, thanks a lot. And if I recall, the things that I fussy cut on that particular set were cut aparts. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that as we move forward this morning. Cut aparts are always fair game for fussy cutting. So now let's do one of the butterflies. And I think what I will do is, again, cut closely to the butterfly. And again, this is a little bit smaller. So I am cutting right up against the edge of the black.
You make it look easy, Janet.
Oh, Kelly, it is, the more you do it, the easier it gets. But I think my tips are, make sure that when you're cutting, you're working with the lower part of your blade. That's something that I don't think I had really read before I started fussy cutting a lot. And as I kind of figured that out, that really helped me a lot. So again, I am always keeping the item that I'm fussy cutting in my left hand, so it's to the left of the blade. Just making my way around.
Janet, Val said that she downloaded the sheet and printed it on photo paper, so they are a little bit glossy.
Oh, that would work great. Absolutely.
I think the neat thing is you can download as many copies as you want, and there's no charge. It's all been provided, not by Memory Bound, but by the group that's spearheading the whole movement.
I think that's wonderful. And a sheet like this is really good for practicing. So I think that butterfly looks pretty good. So he's ready to go on our card. And again, I'm not going to put this together with you, but I will do it after the demo. And then you can see, now I fussy cut around the banners just in the same way by just cutting straight up against them. So there's no black edge around those. I'm going to tuck those underneath here, kind of like so. I've also fussy cut that teeny tiny little butterfly.
And Janet, we have a question I just put up on the screen.
Oh, yes.
From Stacy. Do you cut the antennas off when you fussy cut butterflies?
Stacy, I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because right here on this sheet is a large butterfly, and I did not include his antenna. I included that same butterfly on this card, and I did take his antenna off. Now, if you wanted to, you could leave a white edge around the whole butterfly and leave a white edge around the antenna, and that would be easier to cut. The other thing that you could do is draw them in with a fine tip black pen, and that would work as well. But if I were going to leave the antenna on, I would leave a white edge around the entire thing and including the antenna. But that is a great question. So now we have the word love, and I thought I would just show you my suggestion for doing this. Now, if you see a word like this, you might think, oh golly, that's too complicated to do. But if you leave a white edge around the whole thing, you can kind of cut it out in a little bit simpler shape. So let's just go ahead and give this a shot.
I'm anxious to see how you do this one, Janet.
Well, let's just see how it goes. So I'm going to keep a little bit wider white edge. And I'm stabilizing this with my fingers, so it's not moving around a lot as I go. Yeah, so we've got this. Now my choice is I could go in and try to cut underneath each of those letters, but I don't think I'm going to attempt that. I don't think we need to do that, but we'll see how it looks. So I'm just going to go around the outside of the letters. Are you guys seeing this okay?
Yeah,
You're
I am. Well, I don't know. I am, Janet. So hopefully everybody else is.
Yeah, it looks like it's showing okay. So I'm, again, trying to keep like a consistently wide edge. And that's probably the hardest part of this whole operation, is just like not going too close in places, and, you know, just kind of keeping the same distance between the letter and where my scissors are. So coming around, and notice I haven't picked up my scissors and started again. I haven't taken my scissors away from this. I'm just cutting kind of in a continuous motion and turning the piece as I go. Now here comes the
Janet,
hardest part.
I do believe that sharp scissors are the key to fussy cutting, because
Absolutely.
if you use other scissors that maybe aren't as good, it's going to look choppy like you did fussy cut it. But when you've got the sharp scissors, it looks really great.
Exactly. And honestly, I think this is okay. I think this is perfectly fine. I probably wouldn't attempt to go in there. You could if you want and cut underneath each of those letters, but I don't think you need to. When we put it on the card, that white actually kind of helps it stand out a little bit. So let's talk about the scissors. These are a larger pair of scissors than the ones that were on the previous sheet. And if you have an interior piece like this is going to be just a little more challenging to do, but it's absolutely doable. And so the first thing that I would suggest is, if you're doing the interior part, take like a mouse pad. This is like a foam thing that's kind of squishy, and you're going to do the interior part first. So what you're going to do is make a hole in the center with your scissors or a pokey tool or your X-Acto knife, and you're going to cut out the interior part first. And we are just going to see how this goes. You just need to make a big enough hole that you can maneuver around in there. Once I get that going, then this might look a little inelegant, as they say.
Well, Janet, you're kind of off. If you could move to the left a little bit, there you go.
Yeah,
unfortunately, I'm in that little corner where you're cutting, and people can only see me, and I think they'd rather see you cutting.
Of
and
course.
I can't take me out of the thing, because otherwise we'll lose our sound.
I apologize.
I'm all
for
about
that.
the sound here, guys.
Well, I tell you what, the reason I keep missing that is my camera mount is sort of in the way of my
Okay,
my
gotcha.
screen. So okay, so I have the interior is cut out, and now what you want to do is go a little bit closer and see if you can cut right up against the edge of the scissors. Notice this time I am using the tip of my scissors, because that's the only way that I can get right up to that edge of the scissor handle.
And you're off the screen a bit.
Oh,
You're,
I'm so sorry, you
but
guys.
we do want you to see it so you can cut it really nicely. And Janet, Dawn also had a suggestion that sometimes she starts it with a hole punch.
Yeah, you could,
And start a
absolutely.
hole, and then that gives you a little more blade room. So thank you, Dawn. We love all the
Absolutely.
suggestions. We can
I
all
am not,
use as many as we can get.
right. I am not going to take the time to clean this up, but I would just continue to go around and around this so that it is a nice clean look. And if you look at the previous scissors, this is what you want it to look like when you're done. And once you have that done, what you can do, if you still have white edges, one of my favorite tricks for any type of a fussy cut piece is to go around the edges with a black pen. So I have my trusty Zig
Oh,
Writer.
the good
This
old
works.
Zig Writer.
And again, Kelly, I think this might be one of my original Zig writers.
I'm
Like
not,
from,
it probably is.
and what I like to do is put my item down on my paper, on some scratch paper, and I trace around it. I'm not tracing on it, I'm tracing just next to it. And what that does is it puts a little bit of ink up against the edge of that fussy cut piece so that you don't have any of that white edge showing. So with something like this that already has a black edge, I will often go around it with a black Zig marker. That's just one thing that you can do. And so if you've got any of those really awkward white spots, you can cover those up. The other thing that you can do is just take your good old trusty distress ink, and you can go around the edges with distress ink as well, just like we did to start out on that ephemera
And
piece.
and Janet, Krista also says that sometimes she uses a paper file
Oh
to,
yeah, that would
like, for
work
the inside
great.
of the scissors or whatever, to kind of clean it
Right,
up.
right, absolutely. Those interior pieces are just a little more challenging, but you can absolutely do them. And here's one that I spent some time on. I did use a black Zig on that as well. On this particular card, I cut out the paintbrushes and the little pencils as well. And then just layer them all together to create a little scene. And I thought it would be fun to add the scissors, which I will do, to this little tag. So
That
again, I
looks
will do,
cute.
thank you. I will do that after the demo, and we will
Are you going to
keep
do a blog
moving.
post for us, Janet?
You bet I will, Kelly.
Okay, so you can find all of this on our blog later next week or the week after, depending on how much time Janet has.
Depending,
She's
yeah,
busy.
depending on for sure. So while I clear up my space, Kelly, let's see if there are any questions before we move on. I've got just a couple other things to show you.
Let's see. I think I've been interrupting you with most of the comments that we've had. I think everyone's really enjoying it. I know I am. Krista really likes the idea of the black Zig marker, and I think what's nice about that one, it looked like you used the boulder tip on it
I did,
rather than the
yes,
fine tips.
yes. That, I think, to me, the black Zig marker is the best way. I have seen people use black Sharpie markers, but I think, using our good old archival black marker from Zig is the way to go. And many of us already have this in our craft room. So,
True, I
and
would say
I
a lot of
I
people
would
do.
I honestly think this might be one of my original Zigs, which would make it over 20 years old.
Janet,
Crazy, huh?
that is the Zig markers. That's a product that we had when we opened Memory Bound 24 years ago.
Yeah.
So they have been on the market for a long time. A good classic tool for sure.
Exactly. Well, it would not be a fussy cutting morning without talking about graphic 45 paper, because of all
Of
the
course not.
paper, I think graphic 45 is the most fun paper to cut. And I think it was sort of born to be fussy cut. And this is
Born to be fussy cut?
yes, I really think so. This is fussy cut from the Deck the Halls collection. So I made this card with a plaid background, and then I fussy cut the star, the poinsettias, the pine cone, and the leaves from one of the graphic 45 papers. And I've
Janet,
got it right
can
here.
I flash to the full sheet of the papers? Do you have a full
Please.
sheet? All right,
Well,
I'm gonna,
mine has holes in it, Kelly.
okay. Well, I just want to show the
Yes.
paper she started with. It's from Deck the Halls, and Janet actually has a card kit coming out Tuesday that uses this collection. But this one is called Mistletoe Kisses, which I think Janet mentioned. And I wanted you to see the before, and Janet's going to show you the after. So
Yeah.
it is beautiful, and I agree. You guys, Janet have volunteered to do this fussy cutting, and I went all over Memory Bound trying to find the best fussy cutting paper, and it always came upon 49, or I'm sorry, graphic 45. So okay, I'm gonna bow out now, Janet, and whoops, and I don't think you guys want to see me, so we'll put Janet back on.
Kelly, I'm so glad that you sent me this paper. I was very excited to see what Kelly would send to me for today, and this graphic 45 Deck the Halls paper is absolutely perfect. And you can see look at my paper compared to what Kelly showed you.
You
I've
did.
cut,
You
fussy
really
cut a
didn't
lot.
use very much, though.
No, I saved a few pieces because I wanted to cut a couple of them with you. So what I did on this card is I made a cluster of flowers and I popped some of them up. And I don't know if you can see, but I added my Posca pen just to add a little bit of
Can
a
you move
kind
it
of,
to the left a little bit, Janet?
whoops.
There you go.
Yep. And then I also added a little bit of Winka Stella to the center. So, and they just look
That's
really
beautiful.
nicely. Well, thank you. They look really, really nice when they're fussy cut. These images do. This is a piece of ephemera um, from the Deck the Halls collection as well. So I wanted to show you a couple of additional sheets that Kelly sent. One is this sheet here with the words, and then another one is the snowflake paper. And this snowflake paper, you could actually fussy cut around the snowflakes. I think this would be a little more challenging to do, but this is a paper that you absolutely could do, or you could even use a punch around some of those shapes. But always look at both sides of your paper because you never know, especially with Graphic 45, what you're going to find. So I started a card that I thought you guys and I could finish together. And so this is another card made with the Deck the Halls collection, and I love the nutcrackers. I think they're just beautiful. So I have a nutcracker ephemera and then a greeting available for the card, and I thought we would just fussy cut a poinsettia
So,
just to
Janet,
kind
are
of
those
show you.
pieces left from your card kit that you,
They,
are those
in fact,
leftover pieces from your card kit?
they sure are, Kelly.
Oh,
So those are in
wow.
the ephemera. So if you get the card kit, you would be able to make this card. You would just need to get another sheet of the paper. So like we talked about before, I'm just rough cutting out this poinsettia. And Graphic 45 is a type of paper that you will probably want to cut right up to the edge of the design, because if you leave a border around it, you're going to pick up some of the other colors and partial designs, and you probably don't want that. So you're going to cut out your poinsettias straight up to the edge. And again, I'm just moving my paper and keeping my blade pretty stationary.
Janet, we have a question about where is the free download. So I'm going to go ahead and link I'll link our World Fussy, if I can find it, our World Fussy Cutting Day category. And if you click on either of the sheets, there's a link in the description for the free download. It's also here on Facebook, but this might be an easier place to find it. And I don't know if this makes sense, but I'll link it. And if you click on the sheet the fussy cutting sheet you're interested in, it's going to tell you it's $1.59, but within there, the description is a link for the free download, so you can get it there.
Thanks for doing that, Kelly. I love that we have a category for it. So we've got one poinsettia, and let's go ahead and do another one. And I want to show you, this one has kind of a squared off edge that's blocked by the manufacturer strip. And we're gonna work with that. We're just gonna kind of make that look more organic as we go. So again, I'm just moving my paper. If there's any squared off edges, you can just use your scissors to make them more natural looking. So this has a snowflake. I'm just going to keep that on there. And when I come to this point, I'm just going to use my scissors to make that into more of a flower shape. So I didn't leave the squared off edge. I just made that more natural looking.
I agree, Janet. That is the perfect paper. The Mistletoe Kisses from Deck the Halls from Graphic 45, because I'm looking at the full sheet and it's got pine cones on it and those stars, those kind of dimensional, I don't know what you call them, those dimensional stars.
Stars, yes. And I did a star. The star's very easy to
Yeah,
fussy cut.
it looks like it's popped up. I mean, it looks like it's folded on those lines. It's pretty
It
cool.
it sure does. Yeah. So I thought then I would add a poinsettia. The reason graphic 45 paper like this is so great is there are so many different elements here that you can fussy cut from. And as you're working on your card and kind of putting together your design, you might say, "Oh, I need a leaf." And so you go out to your paper and you just find a
Find a
leaf
leaf.
and you cut it. Yeah. So I'm trying to find a decent looking pine cone here that's big enough to cut with you guys. That's a really big one. Let's just go with that since it's bigger. But all of this is fair game. All of it is. So there's some really nice things here. So I'm just roughly cutting this out, and then I will go around this pine cone.
And thank you, Diane. She says it's the star anise. And I do remember that now in one of our previous morning videos trying to come up with a name. So thank you so much.
Oh, that's right. Okay, this poinsettia has a lot of kind of jagged, I'm sorry, pine cone
Pine
has
cone?
a, yeah, has a lot of jagged edges. So I'm really turning my paper as I go to kind of pick all of that up. So again, this is a little bit more challenging than like the poinsettia was because the poinsettia had more straight lines. So I'm trying to do as many of those ins and outs on the pine cone edge as I can because that's what's going to make it look more realistic. Almost around this. So with a shape like this, what I typically will do with graphic 45 is I will usually ink the edges. So now we've got a pine cone. This is kind of the direction I was going with the card. So we'd have the pine cone, the little nutcracker, and then for leaves, you could either fussy cut from your sheet, or you can also always use die cut leaves, which here are some pine branch dies that I use to make these little leaf pieces. And then
Is
I
that
glue
the die we
them,
just got in, Janet? Is
but it's very similar.
okay. Okay. Um, I lost sound. I don't know if anybody else did or not. Are you guys able to hear Janet? Okay, Janet, we lost sound for some reason. Hang on, everybody.
The other ear, Kelly.
But can you hear? Oh, there we go. Okay. Doug? Okay, well, hang on. I'm gonna mute Janet and then Janet, I'm muting you and then I'm gonna unmute you and see if your sound comes back. So do you want to do kind of a little sound check and let's see if it's back? I hear clicking.
I
I
took
guess
my
some people.
earpods out.
Okay, now your sound is back. Um, I don't know if you're talking now though.
This is a test. This is a test.
Okay, okay, that's working,
Okay.
Janet. So I think you're good to go. I think your sound is back.
What happened there? But so I will put this together after our video today, but this is kind of the direction that I was going with this. And I just think you can really see how pretty the graphic 45 is to work with for fussy cutting. It's just the best. And if again, if you ink the edges, that's going to give you a little more dimension.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
When I get it all finished.
I think it looks great. Janet, I'm not sure if you're talking or if we've lost sound, but
I am talking. I don't know why we
Okay.
have lost sound.
It's back. It's just kind of in and out for some reason, but it's been good through the whole video till just now.
Yeah, I don't know what is going on. I have one more thing. This using hand signals. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but
We can
this
hear you
is
now.
okay.
And now we can't.
Cut apart paper. Wanted to show you that you could fussy cut. Cut out the poinsettias and cut around them, and just will layer onto a card.
That's a great idea. I love that. And it really adds a lot to that cut apart. So
Out for it if you have paper that you can double like this. That you can do.
so Janet's sound is going in and out, and I apologize for that. I don't we can kind of see what you're doing, Janet. Um, maybe I can describe it because we did talk about this earlier. They Okay, she's cutting around the
Hand
buildings.
signals. So this is a 4x6 cut apart. 4x6.
We heard
and
that.
and I will cut around the village here, and I want to retain this top part. So let's just see how this goes.
Well, your sound appears to be back. So we did have a question about what you used on the greens on your previous card to make it glittery.
Yes, that is Diane's glitter mix, which is a combination of rock candy and diamond dust glitter, and just the equal amounts mixed together in a little container. You just shake it up and apply it with your liquid glue. So very sparkly.
There you can see it. I don't know if you can hear Janet. It's kind of going in and out, but she's showing you how with the Diane's glitter mix, you have the rock candy, which is fine glitter, and then you have that diamond dust, which is actually crushed glass that really picks up the shine from the lights, and it tends to cover everything. And now she's cutting around the little, oh, and I just heard your scissors, Janet, so maybe your sound is back.
Have to figure that this little. So what's a little bit more challenging with this one is that I want to retain I want to keep this whole thing packed so I can use it on my card. So instead of like chopping it up like I have done on some of the other pieces I fussy cut for you, I'm going to keep it clean, which is challenging, but I thought it would be fun to use this as part of the card. It's too nice to discard.
Yeah, it is
Hear me?
beautiful. The question is, what are you using to adhere Diane's mix to your cards, Janet? And I don't think she has sound for that. I know Teresa oh, she's using liquid glue. That's so visual. She's using Nuvo glue. And I know Teresa likes to use glossy accents because you have a little bit of extra shine, but any type of liquid glue will work. That you want it to dry clear though, not dry white. Thanks for asking about that, Melissa.
Now, this down to my card.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait to see how this comes out.
Be okay. I think it's gonna work. So I cut my
It's gonna be
mat just
cool.
a little bit bigger, and this is a silver metallic paper that I cut maybe a quarter of an inch bigger on each side. And then I thought I would just pop this uh, up over the bottom part of it. So I'm just going to use my foam dots behind.
I love the idea of cutting a piece out of a 4x6 or a 3x4 cut apart, fussy cutting it and popping it up. I think that's a fabulous idea. And it's going to work very nice for this paper. And we do have this paper in stock. And let me see if I can find it. Janet, oh, here it is. It's the First Noel 6x4 journaling cards. And I'll link it so you guys can see that because that's what she's been using. And Stacy says this is a lesson in looking at paper in a different way. And that is so true.
Here, let me go back to the other ones and show you the other pieces from this paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to, where I cut it out. That bottom part is raised. Behind it is the silver paper. It's kind of hard to see on the
Yeah, it's hard to
screen.
see in the view.
Bottom part of this piece is totally popped up, which I think is a very cool effect. And do the same thing. There's a sky up here that has your sentiment. You could cut around all of these figures and the little village and do the exact same thing.
I think you could even behind the village where it meets where it's cut, you could maybe put some silver ink or maybe a little bit of Wink Stella or something shimmery that kind of highlights the village. Might be kind of neat too.
I mentioned Winka Stella because I happen to have mine right here.
Oh,
So let's add Winka Stella to the windows. Shine. Stella is it dries super fast.
so Wink Stella is like a marker, kind of like a watercolor. Well, not really watercolor, but got a brush tip and it's got all that fun sparkle in the ink. And you just brush it on. And honestly, once you start, you just can't quit. You just got to keep Winka Stelling this and that and everything. And it's pretty neat. And I don't know if we'll be able to see it very well on the camera, but when you're in person, you can see the shimmer. It's more of a shimmer than a glitter.
To the star, which might be a little bit easier to see.
Well, and Melissa suggested you could put Diane's glitter mix in the star too if you wanted to, or maybe just rock candy since it's a smaller area. Maybe a smaller glitter like rock candy would be good.
Yeah, with the idea being look at your and see elements from the cut apart that you can fussy cut. And you can do that with a 3x4 cut apart, with a 4x6 cut apart. There are all kinds of cut aparts on the market right now that are fair game for fussy cutting. Full sheet of paper or a cut apart, or you can even fussy cut your ephemera. Unless we have any questions, I'm going to throw it back to you and I will put my camera in the holder.
Okay. Diane loves the silver background because it comes as kind of a highlight of the town, which is what I was kind of hoping for too. I'm going to go ahead and let's see. What do we want to do here? No, not that one. Oh, not that one. We could do that one. How about that one? All right, wait. You can see Janet's finger there.
Camera. Sorry.
All right. That's perfectly fine. Let me pull up the chat. Rhonda says, beautiful cards, thank you. And Janet, I want to say a huge thank you for being here on your Saturday. This is the weekend, and I loved all your fussy cutting tips. I loved what you did with the fussy cutting sheets that we have available that were provided by the World Fussy Cutting Organization. We can call it an organization. That sounds really cool. And then those are a free download, or if you want us to print them for you, we can. A dollar goes to the American Heart Association and 59 cents pays for the copying. We got Janet's cutting edge tips for success that you can download for free and print that at home. We've got I'm just showing all the stuff, Janet. We've got the Spellbinders Sharon's scissors, which is a die, nothing to do with actually fussy cutting, but it's this really cute pair of scissors with the hearts in the handle, just to remind us. And let's see. Oh, and Janet, here is the paper that you did a really cool job fussy cutting from 49 and Market, and that was called Mistletoe Kisses from Deck the Halls. Here, I'll just cover myself up. And let's see, what else? What are we missing, Janet? What have I forgotten?
Is it, Kelly? I want to say thank you for asking me to do this. Like I said before, I've always loved a fussy cut. I feel like this is a special holiday for those of us who love to fussy cut, and to remember our friend Sharon, and
Yes,
as well. So I think this is a wonderful way to memory. And I hope that if you're new to fussy cutting, that you will give it a try. Like I said before, it's a practical thing to learn how to do. And as you become more comfortable with it, it will become relaxing and kind of even therapeutic.
I think it is. I mean, I do like it. And Janet, earlier we had a comment that I was just dying to share, and now I can't remember. It might have been from Stacy. She said that you could make fussy cutting videos for relaxation. You know how you have those videos where you listen to water or the wind? She thinks you could make them for fussy cutting.
Consider that, but I do find it very relaxing. So I'm glad that you do as well. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Thanks, everybody. We're going to sign off. Happy Saturday. Happy weekend. We will be back on Monday. And Monday, we have a Christmas album kit to show you. And you guys, Janet will be back on Tuesday with a Deck the Halls card kit for Christmas. So Janet will be back, and we'll see her then. And thanks again for watching, everybody. And we'll see you soon.